All right, so it's an interesting point and a hopeful point that you're making, Jay. But April, what do you make of what's just been it's under me right now on our screen? Poll: 6% of Americans say race relations are better under Obama. That's a recent Politico poll. 6%. He's a black president. He is taking on this issue. That number seems horrible.
Seems horrible. It is. 6% of Americans believe that race relations are better. That's saying something. So that 6%, I don't know where they live, but race relations have been and will continue to be a problem. It's not just a legislative issue, it's a heart issue. And we're seeing things that we haven't seen in a long time. Now the whole world, literally the whole world, is seeing what African Americans feel and have dealt with for many years. This is not just something that just happened. This is centuries old. And it's going to take, it's taken a long time to get to this point. It's going to take a while. We have to change hearts, legislation, and this is speaking as a reporter as well as an African American.
And you know, Jay, now the president is saying, because the Trayvon Martin point that he said, I pointed out because that was at the end of that first term when he was, and I remember it at that moment because it was so personal, and he was often very careful to be empathetic but not too close. And now he's much more emotional overall about it. So he and the First Lady just gave an interview to People, which I'm sure you read, but here's a quote from him. He said, "There's no black male my age who's a professional who hasn't come out of a restaurant and is waiting for their car and somebody didn't hand them their car keys." And then Mrs. Obama talked about, to People magazine, an incident when she was First Lady of the United States. She went to Target. She was Michelle Obama First Lady. She said, "The only person who came up to me in the store was a woman who asked me to help her take something off the shelf." These kinds of things happen in life, so it isn't anything new. Jay, have they made a concerted decision to make this personal, to make race a core and critical focus of the rest of his presidency?
I don't think it's a decision in the sense that they had a meeting and they thought, okay, now that we're going to approach it this way. I think they've learned over the years, as they've had these positions, President and First Lady, about how they can be, most effective in talking about these issues, which are very sensitive and very hard. And when they can talk about them in personal ways that resonate for anyone, because we've all walked out of restaurants, but only if you're a black American male, are you likely to have the experience that the president had and have somebody hand you their keys or ask for the keys, right? And I think that what the First Lady said is also something that can resonate, because I think what they're trying to do is create some commonality, to have people of different races to be able to see things through everyone else's eyes. And that's a hard piece of business, because legislation is one thing, and we've had a lot of historic legislation over the past 50 years.
Yep.
But the work that needs to be done often now is work in hearts and minds.